and coming out of the ceiling down into the middle of the room was, I thought it was a fireman's pole.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
But
a
it turns out it was not a fireman's pole. It was a... All right, well, welcome back to the Hamiltons Unlocked, and it's good to see you again, Jenny.
Oh, it's always lovely to see you, my dear. And welcome back, our audience, to the Hamiltons Unlocked. Today, we are going to be talking about a question that we get asked, honestly, constantly. Like, if anyone wants to know about our job, outside of how's the market, right?
Yep.
We get asked, like, what is the craziest thing that you see in real estate?
Yeah. And in showing the thousands of homes that we've shown, we have a lot of crazy stories. We've seen almost everything. I don't think you could prepare us for all the things we've had to see and do over the years.
Yeah. And truly, like, this episode could go on for like 17 hours. Potentially it won't. We've narrowed it down to just a few. And these are like maybe the best ones that we can think of, but honestly, things happen constantly. Like even as we're talking through these, we're thinking of more. So we'll do more of these stories if, this is an episode people like to listen to.
Well, most people, you think about it, you go into an office or you work from home or, you go into a sterile environment every day. And our office is going into other people's homes.
Right.
And everybody there's not a one size fits all.
No, there's not. In fact, when I go into someone's home as like a guest, I find myself doing weird things like just opening their coat closets or like opening drawers and stuff. Because,
like we're on a showing.
That's what I do. I'm like, I'm like looking at their ceiling. I'm checking for leaks. Like I can't just enter a home anymore and not think about real estate.
Yeah.
So that's super fun. But some of these stories today are about times that we've shown, and some of them are about the homes we've tried to sell. So you go first. We're going to jump right in, and you can tell us one of the many stories of a time that you were showing that things went a little bit sideways.
Yeah, different or sideways. Gosh, I had a first-time home buyer, and we had been looking at property for quite a while, and we narrowed it down to this one really nice townhome. And I set up the appointment, talked to the agent, got all the information, and the seller was supposed to be out of the country. They were gone. So we went over to the property, opened the door, and I start turning all the lights on and getting things ready. And I noticed like a suitcase at the bottom of the steps, but didn't really think anything of it. And we show the whole downstairs. And as we're walking upstairs, I hear this like faint noise of like snoring or something like this.
Can you give us a
like a
sample? Oh, okay. You did it.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is that? And as you get to the top of the stairs, it's getting louder. And now I've got the master bedroom to the right and two other bedrooms to the left.
And you think you're in a vacant property.
I'm supposed to be in a vacant property.
Yeah.
The sellers, they're out of the country.
Yeah.
I can tell they have kids because there's like toys and things downstairs. And, but the house is generally, well lived in and well kept. And so then as my buyer's behind me and she's walking and the master bedroom door was closed. And as I get closer to the door, the snoring gets even louder. It's like,
oh God.
And so I'm like, that's weird. So I open the door and I go to turn on the light. And right as I turn on the light, I look over in their master bed, which is like right in the middle of the room. And I see 4 people just passed out, dead asleep.
A family, a couple couples, or what are we looking at here?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I just see 4 people.
Okay.
And I see the guy snoring.
Right.
And I don't know where he was on the end of the bed. And I am like, I turn around to my client and I'm like, they're sleeping.
Right. Now you're whispering because you're trying to be respectful.
Right. And it's like 1 PM. So this isn't like, why are we sleeping? I'm not at your house early and I'm not there late.
Right. They weren't all dying from like carbon monoxide poisoning, were they?
I didn't check.
No, you told me they were jet lagged, right?
They were jet lagged. So anyway, so I turned the light off, slowly closed the door. I think we finished looking at the other 2 bedrooms like really quietly, and we politely left the property and like started laughing outside. Called the agent and I'm like, hey, you might need to know that your client is back and they're all, I think, sleeping in the bed. Right. And of course she ended up telling me, yes, they had just come back from a overseas trip and she didn't know that.
Right.
They had all passed out in the bed sleeping. So the odd thing is that house my client ended up buying.
Oh, well, nice. So you got to see them like vertical at closing.
I did. I got to see them vertical and made a nice little joke about it. Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Had to
I
make an
need
awkward
know.
moment for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, walking in on something like that, opening bedroom doors generally is kind of just like it's one of those things you do cautiously anyway. in real
Yeah.
estate.
You've had
Yeah.
cats jump out at
Oh
you.
yeah.
I mean,
The things that you
I had a
see.
naked man
Walk
walk out.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. Very weird.
Okay, well, I'm going to go next. And this story, I think that people think of real estate sometimes and they see the polished version online of, staged homes and video tours and
All the things that we do.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. Like those are the glam parts of real estate. And then there's like the real side. And like we're constantly like, I've cleaned so many toilets and baseboards
Yeah.
and whatever, like getting houses ready. And so one time I was actually pregnant with my son Nash, and I was planning to list a house, and the sellers were out of town. It was actually an estate. And so the kids were managing it from another state. And so I said, I'm going to go over and check the house and make sure everything's good to go. And the cleaners had cleaned the top part, but not the basement. And so I said I would bring over my vacuum cleaner and just go over the basement.
Love how we always use our products.
Yeah,
in
we
other
do.
people's
Yeah.
houses.
So, so I, as a, like probably 5-6 month pregnant woman, drive over to this house, unload my vacuum cleaner, take it downstairs into their basement. And this is a house in Dunwoody. It's an older home, but it's big. It's a really, really big house. So this basement alone is probably 1,500, 2,000 square feet. So I start vacuuming.
And it's finished. This is
it's
finished.
finished. Yeah, I'm vacuuming the basement. It is wall-to-wall carpet down there. And all of a sudden, the vacuum's getting like harder to push. And I'm going, this is a little bit strange. And then I start noticing like an odor. And then I look down and the carpet's kind of changed its texture. And so I reach down with my bare hand and I touch the carpet and I realize that it's wet. And I'm like, weird.
And you
So
naturally
then
put it to your nose.
raise my hand to my face.
Did you
and
lick
my
it? Did
nose.
you lick it?
And when you're pregnant, by the way, your sense of smell is like extreme. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that? It was the most foul smell. So I like let go of the vacuum cleaner. I back away and I start walking around the corner of the basement. And the sewer line had gotten backed up. And when a sewer line gets backed up, just
Yeah,
for
that's
those who
always
don't
fun.
know, it creates like volcanic pressure that needs to go somewhere, and it usually comes out of a toilet.
Yep.
And the explosion
You don't want to
had
be around when it happens.
the explosion had already occurred. So you can imagine just like the literal fecal matter spread all over this bathroom, and it had flooded and was seeping out into like 1,500 square feet of carpet. So I left pretty quickly. I abandoned the vacuum cleaner and I called my clients and I'm like, hey guys,
Were you under contract at the time?
no, we were listing it like 2 days later.
Okay, so it's about to hit the market.
Yeah. And I called them like, hey guys, we are not listing this house. And it ended up being a huge problem because, of course, they have to come down, they have to remediate, they have to
Yeah.
pull everything. And then it had asbestos. Like it was, so the really funny part of the story is I was sad I wasn't going to get to list it for them because I was going to be going on maternity leave. But it took so long to fix everything. I actually like had the baby, came back from maternity leave, and then listed the house for them because it was like a 6-month process. Anyway, the house ended up selling with a brand new basement, but the hoops you have to jump through. But the great news was, that's why we have vendors and insurance and we understand these things. And
Yeah.
we now know firsthand what it looks like when you have a poop explosion
Yep.
in your house. And why we tell people to always get their sewer lines inspected.
Yep. Always get a sewer scope.
Yep. Okay. You go next.
Well, one thing that you wouldn't think would be common to homes, but we've seemed to have now sold several houses that have these in them.
I'll say several.
Yeah, several.
Couple.
It's becoming more commonplace.
Okay.
We had a property one time that we went on, and it was won't say his name, but an NBA basketball player, high profile. And we're at the house, we're touring the home, and then we go into his office above the garage space.
This was the one with the multiple pit bulls that kept smelling me.
They did. They didn't leave you alone.
No, they didn't. They
didn't
followed
leave you
me
alone.
around the whole time.
Yeah. And then, it was bizarre. There's a lot of bizarre things about that
There were.
property.
Mhm.
But then we go to the office and it's above his like 3 or 4 car garage, and we go upstairs, and first thing we notice is like there's this like amazing built-in bar area. but there's like mirrors all over the room.
Everywhere.
And I think we both were like, oh, interesting. And then we look
Like
up.
a dance studio.
Like a dance studio. Yeah. And then there's like a platform that has a lot of mirrors as well. And my eye is taken to like the ceiling, and there's mirrors all over the ceiling also. And coming out of the ceiling down into the middle of the room was
A pole.
I thought it was a fireman's pole.
Maybe.
But
A
it
dance
turns
pole?
out it was not a fireman's pole. It was a stripper pole.
It was a pole.
It was a pole.
And and not to mention the low-lying bed. Remember how there was like the bed?
Yeah,
near
then
it?
there was a
As
bedroom
if,
in the back.
Like
and
if
it
you
was-
needed to fall, you could fall on the bed. Yeah, we didn't take that listing.
It was very interesting. But then we just sold another property that had a very nice basement level, and it had a very nice bar, and it also had a stripper pole in it. And we didn't have
it had a fitness space as well.
a fitness space. Is that what, yeah, we called it a fitness space.
Yes.
And not one buyer had a problem with it.
No, they actually all loved it.
They loved it. It went into multiple offers.
Yeah, that house, everyone was like, we really like the stripper pole in the basement.
Yeah.
But I think it like fit. Like it was like a less creepy
That's true.
pole situation, because it did have like a bar. It was very like
It was more like a Nashville. Yeah,
like
exactly.
Coyote Ugly situation. Like he had turned his whole basement to like a legit bar. It actually looked pretty cool. All right. So the final story that I will tell is probably my this is when my life flashed before my eyes. So showing a property, I was kind of earlier into my career as a real estate agent, and this was in like October, November. So like the time had just changed. It was like Halloween time. Time had just changed. So at 5 o'clock it's starting to get dark. So I was trying to meet my clients who were coming from work afterwards at this vacant property in like the Virginia Highlands area. It was a breezy, totally creepy, Halloween-y situation anyway. And this house was really, really old. It was built in like the 20s, and it already had like
Virginia
a creepy
Highlands.
vibe.
Yeah.
So some call that charming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which it can be. So they get there. We walk into the house. It's completely vacant. There is nothing in it. Not a piece of furniture. Nothing. And it was advertised as vacant. And so we walk in and we start going through the house. We go through the kitchen, the first couple of rooms, and then we head back to the bedroom. And my clients are right behind me. And I kind of swing a door open to a bedroom, and there is a lady laying in the bed who was probably 137 years old.
Was she snoring like my client?
No, she was making no noises, which was a lot more concerning for me. She's laid back, like on her back, like arms crossed. Bless her heart. I mean, she looked gray. And my client just screamed bloody murder. And then
So she dead?
I screamed, and then the other guy screamed, and then the lady started moaning, and then
She's not dead.
We all ran out of the house.
Oh,
It was just like the creepiest moment, and I feel so bad. So I instantly, actually, my assistant was trying to call me at the time, and she's like, "Don't go in the house, don't." And I'm like, "Too late! Like we're already in it." And the listing agent had tried to call her, and these people would keep their mom or grandmother or whatever there during the day, and they were trying to get there to pick her up before the listing.
poor lady.
I know, poor thing. And so this was many years ago, so she probably is living in heaven now. She did not die that day. I think if she were to be about to be dead, our screaming like brought her back to life.
Probably
if
did.
anything,
Probably
it was
did.
just like the craziest moment.
Now you can understand why, like, it's for us to just go into houses and open doors. There's always a hesitation. I don't like being the first one to open a door.
Yeah.
But I mean, we obviously have to with our clients, but
Right.
it's never fun because sometimes we don't know what's behind a closed door.
I know, and I do always send you down to the basements first, and you always
I
tell
don't
me
like
to go
it.
first.
Yeah, I
know,
don't like. I
just
definitely don't like walking into basements.
feels like you should be the one to go first.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll take the hit because I'm less scared of bugs. So anyway, those are some of our crazy experiences. We will be thinking of more. If you've had a crazy experience in real estate, what's really funny is when our clients are like, "Do you remember the thing?" And we actually there's so many stories. We remember it once they tell us. But
Yep.
so if you've had a crazy experience with either of us or in real estate, we'd love to hear about it. And we'll catch you on the next episode of the Hamiltons Unlocked.
Sounds good.